All right, y'all, so let's talk about this. So I saw an interview with the Claressa Shields, and of course, as usual, the interviewers always have to ask the same redundant questions. Um, it's too bad people are not more authentic and really have questions that they really want to ask, topics that they really want to talk about, other than just to get an interview just to upload on their channels. Because really, when you know a fight's not going to happen, is it really worth talking about? Think about it. We're going to spend time, to make videos to just talk about things that's not going to ever come into fruition. And if they do, it's going to take a whole lot of twisting and turning and bending. Either the two fighters don't want it or one of the fighters don't want it. Now, what I'm talking about, I saw Claressa Shields being interviewed, and once again, her promoter was there, and he butted in to make it known that, look, Alicia Baumgardner is just capping, man. She's clout chasing because this is not the first time I heard him say this, and nobody from her side has ever said anything. The only person that is just running their mouth, and people don't understand the difference between somebody capping versus somebody that's serious. My thing is this. People can say whatever they want to say, but it's always the lesser opponents that's talking about the better opponents. The bigger names don't call out the smaller names, unless they see something in you where they feel like you're being overlooked, like how Devin Haney, or that's not even what Devin Haney was doing. Devin Haney was just calling out the top guys, and they made excuses. Oh, this guy's boring. I'd never fight him, and things of that nature. But this was the hunter, okay, the champion calling out the challengers. He's supposed to be the hunted. He was the hunter. In this situation, the thing, people will, if you listen to people and their lies, they will make you think that if you don't know what's happening, that Claressa Shields said, hey, I want to fight Alicia Baumgardner, and then started, deciding, oh, no, I don't want to fight her. That's not what happened at all. I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. If you're not willing to go to a person's weight class like Terrence Crawford did Canelo Alvarez, he didn't say catch weight. He didn't say anything other than I want to fight Canelo, which means he was willing to go up to Canelo's weight class. In fact, if Crawford would have challenged Canelo and then said, come down to 154, we know that's not going to happen. Canelo is not going back down to 154. He's not going to 160. He's staying at 168, and I believe this is where he's going to end his career. So why would you call somebody's name and then say, try to, first off, Terrence Crawford wasn't even in demand to make that decision. Oh, you come down, I'm calling you out, but if you want the fight, you have to come down to the weight I say. Not happening. That fight would have never happened. And I say this, I believe strongly. He saw it being safer to go against Crawford than against Benavidez. And it still backfired either way because, he basically two different skill levels. But at the end of the day, Crawford was ready and willing to go to that man's weight class, win, lose, or draw. For Alicia Baumgardner, I'm 255 pounds. You imagine somebody saying, hey, Aries, let's fight, but you got to come down to 175. No, I'm not going to train myself just for the sake of coming down into a fight, giving you every advantage that you possibly need because ego kicks in. So let's say I got pissed off and said, I don't care, we can fight at whatever weight class, right? Brother, I ain't scared of nobody. No man, nothing, living or dead, whatever, scared of nobody. But if people was trying to hold that to me, yeah, but Aries, you did say you could fight whatever. Yeah, you know what? Here's the deal. Fuck all that. You walk around 190 pounds, less me at 185. And for me, 185 would be still too light. But I'm saying, now you don't want to walk around at a weight class that you basically you walk around 190 pounds, right? But you're scared to fight at the weight class that this is your walk around weight. I'm dropping a considerable amount of weight to get down to fight you, and you still don't want to fight. But your fans is saying, hey, well, Aries don't want that smoke. Otherwise, he come down. He said, that's the petty side of things. But he said, yeah, I know what he said. But, people say a whole lot of shit. They're talking it, but yeah, that's the petty side. Bottom line is this, right? It's the camouflage. The person with the big mouth, you want to fight, but you don't want to fight at the weight class. You comfortable. Or you have to even burn weight. We know that the fair side of a catch weight is, and which I'm not against that when this is the case. The fair side of it is, okay, I'm too small to go all the way up there. You're too small to come all the way down here. What's a comfortable weight that you can make? That's cool, because you're not draining yourself, and you're not just a blown up guy coming up, too much. But at the same time, we know that a whole lot of people, probably most, use a catch weight as a way to drain their opponent. And basically, even if it drains you and you can see like, man, this person looks bad at that weight. Win, lose, or draw, especially if you lose, well, he the one accepted it. That's all the fans are going to say. The fans, listen, the fans don't box, they don't train, they don't take blows, they've never done nothing but sit there and meat ride fighters and argue over who's the GOAT and all this goofy nonsense, right? Stupid nonsense. These guys ain't in here taking no punishment other than putting all that liquor in their system and weed and whatever drugs they doing. They're talking. They're the least of anybody's worries. So they can talk all they want, but Alicia is not willing to go up to fight anybody. When you think about this woman is 30-something years old. What is she waiting for? Think about what Alicia Baumgardner was doing. Alicia Baumgardner has skill, okay? I like her as a fighter. But Alicia Baumgardner keeps talking about she wanted to win this amount of titles, and she wanted to win. She like the female Keith Thurman. You haven't seen the best of Keith Thurman. Then he keeps getting injured. Her thing is even injuries. What is taking her so long? She should already been making strides to go up in weight. Because with age, she's over 30 years old, and she walks around over 155 pounds. So you're telling me that by this time she hasn't, hey, I want to fight Lauren Price. Hey, I want to rematch with Michaela May. And have you asked her, does she want to rematch with Michaela May? Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. No, I'm telling you, MVP. Look at Jake Paul. Let me tell you something. Alicia Baumgardner praises Jake Paul every chance she get. Constantly, I would think Jake Paul, MVP, Jake Paul, right? If Alicia Baumgardner was signed to somebody else and she had a nice secured deal, and let's just say Jake Paul didn't say any, let's say, okay, if whether Jake Paul said something or not, if a Jake Paul fighter was talking disrespectful to her, she mentioned, look at your boss. Who is he for? Fight old men. And a bunch of old men, most of them wasn't even boxers, they was MMA guys. If Jake Paul opened his mouth to say anything, you don't think that's the first thing she would say? So this is the same woman that sat here and gave a prediction that Jake Paul would beat Anthony Joshua. All of those women that sat there and picked Jake Paul is only because he's their boss. You couldn't possibly be that stupid to think that he was good enough to beat Anthony Joshua. Okay. At the end of the day, though, right? We know she's going to side with the guy that signs her checks. We're not stupid. We're not stupid, man. If a fighter right now and his trainer part on bad terms, if that fighter sucked, that trainer will tell you that fighter sucked and that fighter didn't listen and blah, 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 or whatever. That trainer will say all types of things about that fighter. We've seen it happen so many times, being honest, even while your trainer's in your corner, your trainer may not say it to you, but he see other fighters that he feel would knock your ass out or you couldn't outbox. I know factually, okay, factually, trainers, their team, they will tell fighters, man, listen, you don't need this fight. Fight this guy, man. Look, I know you as a fighter, you want the fight, but you got to understand, put ego aside. Should you lose, you destroy your chances of going here and going there. Why blow that money? Forget this guy right here. Let him, look, the people are going to talk. Let him say whatever he's going to say. Don't worry about him. Focus on what's important, right? You think fighters don't, you think that won't happen? Yes, it happens. Yes, use his name, clout chase, do all that. But we don't need that. And when it gets to the point where championships are involved, that means more money is involved. The less money you make, the less money your team makes. They want top dollar. So they don't want to risk you losing. You're their meal ticket. This is why the real ones will say, hey, cancel all that noise, man. That's not even the fight we want. Stop putting yourself in a predicament where you're being asked questions about somebody that you know you're not going to fight. So business is this. Claressa Shields, her promoter reached out to Baumgardner's promoter on several occasions and was told we're not interested in the Claressa Shields fight. And factually, I even heard two different times, I heard Baumgardner once say, I'm not interested in fighting the Claressa Shields. I'm moving on, right? Second time, I heard her say, that girl is a heavyweight. So that's not even the fight that's happening now, right? Ego kicks in, maybe some dementia kicks in. All of a sudden, I'll knock her out, blah, blah, blah. She don't want to. It's like, here we go with this. You're still using Claressa Shields' name to try to boost your own profile. And that's all this is. So Claressa Shields came up with a simple solution. Okay, after I get finished with Franchon, me and Shadasia Green as the main event, Claressa Shields, Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois as a co-main event. See, why not? Why not? And here's the problem. See, y'all don't understand lies and camouflage. See, I've never been a fighter fan. I've always just had a love for the sport. I'm not a fan of anything. I'm too much man to call myself a fan of anything, man. Like real shit. I'm not anybody's fan or a fan of nothing. I just have an appreciation or a love or a passion about certain things. But I'm no fan, man. I don't even like that term, fan. Just stroking motherfuckers' egos for them anyway. I'm nobody's fan. But I can tell you this. Baumgardner has no legitimate reason to not fight Caroline Dubois. And to be honest with you, now fans of fighters are always going to take the side of that fighter and say a bunch of stupid shit, even things they don't even see. They'll claim it because they're taking the side of that fighter that they like more. But a lot of people think Caroline Dubois will knock Alicia Baumgardner out. Now, my thing is, both of them have skills, but like I said, Caroline Dubois is more willing to turn up and go through the fire than Alicia is. And when Alicia does do it, right, she's like one punch at a time. She's never had a firefight, man. She's never had somebody that's going to press her. Smart, okay, pressure, calculated pressure. Not just some desperate throw caution to the wind and just let your hands go and you got to hit something like the old trainers used to tell you. No, Caroline Dubois is every bit as smart, as sharp. She's as quick, and I believe she has more power, which doesn't really matter. As long as you hit hard enough to knock your opponent out, that's what matters. So, but defensively, the less Alicia engages, the safer she is. And if Caroline decides to go in there and turn up and let's make it a fight, Alicia Baumgardner, to be honest with you, it's time she gets hit with shots. Even like her last opponent, she got hit with some shots at times where it's like she does this often. She just falls asleep in the ring. And she'll just be in a position to get hit with shit that she shouldn't get hit with. Now, my thing is, whenever this little transition of the best don't want to fight the best anymore. Oh, I don't need you. I make enough money without fighting you. They don't want to say it, but they do say it without realizing you're trying to make a person look bad by saying, I don't need you, right? Now, the thing is, people do talk like one fight defines a person's whole career a lot of times, and they start putting more emphasis on that opponent. Well, you can say the same thing for Alicia when you want to compare her to Claressa. What has this little woman done? I mean, can you imagine, like, look, when you heard that Anthony Joshua was going to fight Jake Paul, one of the first questions people asked was, what weight class is this going to be at? Because I know damn well, I mean, AJ ain't coming down to no damn Bridger weight or whatever, right? So people was, well, how much would know? Bottom line, Jake Paul's going to have to come in 200-something pounds. Now, I'm not even qualifying this bullshit circus fight because Jake didn't come to fight, and AJ made it known that he wanted a fight where he wouldn't get hurt. Yeah, I'm not stupid, man. I know what real fighters look like. And like I said, we don't have to be there to know all the behind-the-scenes details, but I know that Jake Paul is not the real deal. And so my whole thing, like I said, if this dude, if he comes in there to fight and AJ even struggles with this guy, that just means AJ is trash. That's all that would have meant. Jake Paul didn't come to fight. He came to run. Okay? He came in there and ran. Now, you tell me after his performance, any one of his fucking fighters was proud of that shit? Of course, they're going to go with that delusional excuse of, oh, he showed tremendous heart, I'm proud of him bullshit. I never knew, like I said, if he jumped in there with whoever the fastest man in track and field is right now, yeah, you could say, hey, he showed tremendous heart to go in there and try to race that guy. But, yeah, all he did was went in there and ran, grabbed AJ's legs and fell to the floor and then got beat the fuck up in the end. And his jaw broken in 2 different places. So, I mean, come on. We come on. You think deep down inside anybody was actually proud of that performance? So, for a guy to sneak in through the back door, talk enough trash, create a buzz, you don't think that this motherfucker say things like, hey, man, I don't have that much boxing experience, but hey, I did what I did. I created my own lane. It worked for me. So I'm trying to get you guys to that same point. They look at the amount of money that this guy's making. And yeah, I'm telling you, this is all Alicia Baumgardner is doing. She's just talking shit. She stands there. I mean, they probably even talk about what they're going to say before the cameras even start rolling. And like I said, she can't avoid a Claressa Shields conversation. It's like when she said the last 2 times that she had actually said, I'm not interested in fighting Shields, she should have just kept it like that. Because the truth of the matter is, nobody's bringing Baumgardner's name up on Claressa Shields' side. It's always whoever's interviewing Baumgardner with all this glazing, and then these idiots go run into their comments, go make their videos and start talking a bunch of shit. People coming all in the comment sections just saying a whole lot of nothing. At the end of the day, your action speaks louder than your words. Your words don't mean nothing unless your words match the actions. She don't want to fight Claressa Shields, and she knows she doesn't. She doesn't want to fight Lauren Price. She doesn't want to fight Caroline Dubois. She has had, 2 back-to-back weak-ass opponents. 2 back-to-back weak-ass opponents, and both her fights went the distance. Except for with the exception of the chick with the bad leg. Forget her damn name. Y'all know what I'm talking about, though. But, I mean, no, actually 3. Yeah, because that was the first fight back. So she's had 3 back-to-back weak opponents. And again, notice, she never calls out the names of these women that's a part of MVP. I'm telling you what the focus is. Let's fight all these outsiders. We're trying to give you, anytime MVP has these cards with these women, they try to make it sound like these women are all bigger than what they are. Let's let them all fight each other. Let's fight these outsiders. And let's try to build profiles to where we're the big fish out there. And I'm trying to help all of y'all to get your names up. So the performance that you guys give come fight night, hey, it depends on that and how the fans see you. We will keep you away from each other as long as we possibly can. Now, when it becomes a demand for you guys and that money becomes huge, And then, okay, now we could afford to have some losses with our girls because, hey, it doesn't matter. I manage all of you. So we all win regardless in terms of the house. But other than that, who are they fighting? I mean, the crazy thing is, when you look at the Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fights, it's like even the women on those cards were trying to live off of their fight. That was always the headline, regardless to even before Jake Paul got into the picture. If you look at the headlines of Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, and then coming into these last, the last fight that they had, the last two, when you look at it, Amanda Serrano cried about being cheated, being robbed, and blah, 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 blah. She is 0-3 against Katie Taylor. Why isn't Alicia Baumgardner calling out Amanda Serrano? Why isn't she calling out Katie Taylor? Everything with her is stay quiet, let her fucking promoters just work out deals with whoever. And remember, shortly after her last fight, she said she already know who her next fight is going to be against, but they're not going to talk about it, right? Okay, then it's obvious whoever it is not somebody that's really worth the shit, because when you have a big fight, you promote that shit early. You want everybody to know that, hey, this fight's going down, right? Why don't she want to fight Caroline Dubois? Calling her a puppy and all that, yeah. Trying to give you the illusion that whole, like, I'm too big for you, but really? Are you? So, yeah, if you're not even making strides to go up in weight, you're not making strides to go up and grab titles in other divisions. All you're doing is talking. They're trying to build her profile to make her bigger than what she is. As long as her name is connected to Claressa Shields, I don't care. I don't care how none of you take it. You can sit there and make all the stupid excuses you want, but this is what she's doing. And pretty much as long as she's connecting herself to Claressa Shields' names, the YouTube algorithms and all these other platforms, there's going to be videos popping up in everybody's feed that they haven't seen already, simply because this woman is bringing up the name of who? The one person she don't want to fight. And it's not just one. She don't want to fight Claressa Shields. But if you look at all the other names, like I said, the Lauren Prices of the world, Caroline Dubois, Katie Taylor, all these different names. Now, Amanda Serrano's talking about now going down to 126 to defend her title there finally. Because, she was holding the belts forever and wasn't fighting anybody at those weight classes. And so, anyways, and notice, she has nothing negative to say about anybody else. Only fighters that she have a problem with is the fake beef with Claressa Shields, and then somebody that actually calls her name. And you think about it, she's nothing but respectful about anybody else's name. She never has anything negative to say. Only when Shields' name come up or Caroline Dubois. Why do y'all think she don't want to fight them? Why? They're just somehow not on her level. She's so exceptional. She's not even, look, let the eye test be one with the skills in the ring from bell to bell. 2, let's look at the reception from the audience. This chick barely gets an applause. Her shit is almost lukewarm. What does Claressa need her for? And for the people, all this hype, all this idiotic, oh, nobody asked for this fight. Oh, she's fighting Franchon because she knows Shadasia will knock her out. Right. Didn't Franchon beat the shit out of Shadasia Green? Yeah. Didn't Franchon struggle like a motherfucker to beat Savannah Marshall and wasn't even sure that she won? And had to have Savannah Marshall tell her, oh, I think you're better than Claressa Shields. You're better than gal. Yeah. You want to know what that is? She's talking, and even she said something about we got enough girls here that we could test Claressa Shields with. She said that on one of the cards, and I'm like, listen to this shit. Yeah, it's a stable. They're like the fucking NWO of boxing, right? Well, at the end of the day, if Claressa Shields would have chose Shadasia Green, Franchon Cruz fans could be sitting there going, oh man, why would she fight Shadasia? She knows she can't beat Franchon in the rematch. That's why she go after Shadasia. Look what Franchon did to Shadasia Green. So people running their mouth it's like I said, man, I don't feed into that. I'm not in this shit talking. I've always been taught. My dad taught me, son of a bitch, start running his mouth. You punch him right in his fucking mouth. And you hit the biggest one, and you don't stop hitting that motherfucker until you tired. Till you can't hit him. You understand? I ain't never been with. I'm always about that action. I ain't never been with all that talking. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Doing it is something completely different. And when I hear all this talk, blah, 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 she don't want to fight. What efforts are you making to fight anybody? And it's like nobody, y'all are so mesmerized with her little booty cheeks and her little bumps and her little mosquito bites and her looks and all her body that y'all are too fucking lame to look at the truth, man. She's using Claressa's name. It's as simple as that for clout. And you look at how people talk about all the competitions at the smaller weights. Well, why is she not fighting any of them? That's exactly my point. That is exactly my point. All the competition is down there, but she's fighting nobody's. Meatballs. So why are these fights that are happening? Now go ahead and make a fool out of yourself and say, oh, it's because nobody want to fight her. No. Nobody running from Alicia Baumgardner. Her name is being called out, and she's turning down the toughest challenges. Y'all don't want to see a rematch between her and Michaela Mayer? And of course, that fight, which I doubt it happens, but if it does, it's definitely not going to take place at 130 pounds. So what efforts is she making to go up? She's in a weak-ass division. Let's not overlook that. She's in a weak-ass division. There's nobody there. There is nobody there. So for her, and this is what the women has been doing, going up and down to try to get the best challenges, right? She's the only one still at 130 claiming she want to be champion 135, 140, 147. Yeah, when? When you going to go to 147? When you turn 47? What are you waiting for? So yeah, why won't that be? And here's the deal, right? If you really want that smoke, traditionally this is how these things happen when you have a main event and co-main event, right? Is that those two people, should they be successful, this is a build-up. You're showcasing. We're next. Her little ass is not going up to no 154, and she knows it. So that's a fight that's never going to happen. So her, Claressa Shields, putting down that challenge, it's funny how the lames won't acknowledge it. They'll sit back and ignore it because why? They don't want to admit, damn, she just said main event, co-main event. What is her ego going to tell her? Well, I should be the main event over Shields. Do you realize that when you compare resumes, the only two women in boxing right now that's even, and well, mostly Amanda Serrano. Really, Claressa and Amanda have the best resumes. Katie Taylor beat Amanda Serrano 3 times, and she's successful. So those three are on top of the mountain in women's boxing. Let's be honest. Alicia Baumgardner's name is not even close to those three. Now, I do believe, looking at her right now and her being younger, I believe she could beat Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano is just basically careless, walk forward, no fucking head movement. I'll take 5 of your punches just to land one of mine. Sugar Shane Mosley type shit. She's not really smart in the ring, man. And the last fight she had with Katie Taylor, both of them showed you. Both of them. Neither one of them really wanted to go through the fire again. I think, personally, Baumgardner could beat both of them right now. Where's the call-outs, though? Nah, chill, Alicia. Shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. We want to move you slowly, and we want to put you in that position. Here's the thing. She don't have that type of fan base. You never see the crowd erupt for Alicia Baumgardner. They don't give it up for her like that, but that's what they want you to think. So I don't care how many people make videos talk about Alicia Baumgardner is the biggest female boxer in the world. Based on what? And if we go by the numbers, first off, the eye test tells me different, but 2, if we go by the numbers, well, we can debunk that easy. So all of this talking, it does absolutely nothing. It doesn't stir up interest in me, for sure. Like I said, I'm about getting active. I'm not with all that blah, 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 he said, she said, whatever. And, ooh, I wonder what she gonna come. Nah, you motherfuckers want to fight away. It's simple. Real fights will sell themselves, meaning the interest will be there because the audience knows this is a real fight. Problem now, we got all these casuals, man. And like I said, when I heard comments coming from so many people and then seeing thumbs up to those comments, like in the comment sections, like, I don't care if a fight is fixed or not, as long as it's entertaining. I told you guys, we were going to enter into a realm of boxing where out with the old and with the new, we just accept all types of bullshit. That's what you see now. And this is why I really can't get caught up with a lot of this boxing shit. So I step away, take care of what's really important, and then I get back to this shit when I can. Salute everybody that's there. Salute everybody that stay with me. All you guys, salute to you. But, the motivation to keep doing this shit. And you look at what we're talking about. 98% of what we're talking about is he said, she said, what if, it's possible this fight may happen, blah, blah, blah. And that's not cool to me. It's not interesting. If you want to fight, fight. It's simple. Motherfucker, imagine a chef going to work, but the motherfucker don't want to cook nothing. Like, nah, right? The hell you doing, man? Got hungry people out there. Feed these motherfuckers. That's your job. So anyways, why not? Why not? Why not? Like she said, after she handled Fran Shine, me and Shadasia Green, main event, co-main event, Alicia Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois. Listen at this arrogant woman sitting up here telling Caroline what she got to do, go get some titles first. Did the last 3 people she fought, did they go out and grab titles and become undisputed and do all that? Absolutely not. So now all of a sudden, those 3, they were worthy, but somehow Caroline Dubois is not. Y'all can't see through this lame shit, man. That's because you don't want to. Shoe on the other foot. If this is what Claressa was doing, you guys would be all over it. Claressa's out here fighting. And Fran Shine, look, Fran Shine is someone that was her first fight in the pros. She defeated her. They became friends and all that shit. But at the end of the day, they got a fight coming up. And I believe Claressa's going to go in there and she's going to whoop Fran Shine's ass. And then when she go on to Shadasia Green and then beat her, what excuse are y'all going to have then? Because it's always I got to find somebody or some imaginary character to make up to say would beat this person. That's all you guys are doing. And personally, I don't care who you like, who you don't like. But I know that not just the content creators, but the people on their channels are full of shit. And this is why they come up here and play stupid and talk a bunch of nonsense. Real fighters want to fight real fighters. It's as simple as that. When you get to the point where the best don't want to fight the best and you're okay with it, you don't even have a right to complain about a fight being boring. You don't have a right to complain that a fighter goes in there and hold back because you guys accept whatever the hell it is that you feel like favors the fighter that you like. So I would have questions. Yeah, you guys like to go on people's channels, glazing them, and that. Yeah, I would have questions. Yeah, why don't you want to fight Caroline Dubois? Are you talking about Claressa? Damn, there's weight classes before you even get to 168 pounds, which we know you're not going to. So even to fight at 154, goddamn, you got some names up there before you get to Claressa. What are you waiting for? Yeah, they want to turn her to some supermodel, to some little hip hop dancer. A little eye candy piece, give her easy fights. And y'all can sit here and play dumb all you want, but that's what she's been doing. That's exactly what they've been doing with her. So, it's funny how you somewhat notice when somebody else is clout chasing, but the ones you like, somehow that's not what they're doing. But they're doing the same shit. Claressa's not doing any of that. Who the fuck can you say Claressa ducked? And don't worry, she'll get the Shadasia, and when she do, bust that ass, and y'all gonna sit up there and make more excuses. It's always the same thing. Y'all did the same shit with Floyd. You did the same shit. Look, Roy Jones went through that shit too. Y'all glazing Roy now. Roy Jones is one of them fighters, like Floyd. Once they were no longer in their primes and now years go by, you still got haters. Floyd got more haters than Roy do. but they get appreciated more because now you sit and look back at what they did and how they did it, and people, damn, this motherfucker was nice. Yeah, Roy went through that. I sat there and listened to Larry Merchant and other people say Roy Jones is not fighting anybody. You know, look, Jim Lampley sat there and said Roy Jones is one of the top 5 or something like that, smartest people I know. He said, look at the amount of money that Roy Jones has made without having to take the risks. What is that telling you? Roy Jones fought somebody, and he said, it don't matter who I got to get in with anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Roy Jones wanted to do. Go in there. George Foreman hit it right on the head. He was commentating one of Roy Jones' fights. He hit the nail right on the head. He said, Roy Jones want to hit you, get your respect, and then put on the show for the fans. And that's exactly what Roy Jones did. And as Larry Merchant said, I don't think Bernard Hopkins, this is when Hopkins was calling him out for a rematch. He said, I don't think Bernard Hopkins would be too impressed with your opponent tonight. He said, well, he don't have to be. He said, I'll get in with anything, you know what I'm saying? And this and this and this. And then he said, Hopkins has done nothing but beat Felix Trinidad. When he talks about Antonio Tarver, he says Tarver did nothing his whole career. The only thing he did was beat a depleted Roy Jones. And he even more last year said that if Tarver tell you the truth, he beat a depleted Roy Jones. And then, right. And you still fought for over a decade after that. But you see, the fanboy shit don't get you anywhere. These fighters, they get to a point, they want to be seen a certain way. Why do you think everybody says he should have retired after the Ruiz fight? Why? Because if he retires after the Ruiz fight, now we can use our imaginations and give him even more credit and claim what he would have did and how he would have did it and how nobody would have beat Roy. Roy would have found a way to beat everybody. How do you think a fight with him and Ali would? That's what you would have been getting. And now we're going to make more money off of this dude's legacy and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. They don't give your family none of this money, but they got all these documentaries and all these videos about you. So the more money they can make off of you, great. Why do you think they're still doing stories about Bruce Lee? A bunch of dead people, Tupac. Why do you think they're making stories about dead people to this day? Because they're making money off of these people. And all you fools do is jump and comment, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, yo, he's the God. Yo, nobody could have beat him. Yo, I love him. Yo, I'm his biggest fan. That's what y'all do. Truth be told, there's no reason for Alicia Baumgardner to not want to fight against Caroline Dubois. Y'all the same ones talk about, look how happy Keyshawn Davis was when Cruz lost. He lost his man 4 times in the amateurs, and he over there cheering. He don't want to fight him. So it's funny how y'all don't see the same thing in Alicia Baumgardner, though. Calling out Shields' name like she want the smoke, and then trying to put it on Shields. She don't want to fight because she be a woman of your word. Come to 147. She's holding on to that shit. Nobody's calling her little ass out. Nobody's calling her little ass out. You know what I'm saying? As far as Shields, Shields is saying she want the fight. She's responding, come to 154. But at the same time, look, Caroline Dubois made it known she want that smoke. And now she's a puppy. And like I said, look at all the names that's out there that she's not fighting. She keep talking about going up in weight, getting titles here, becoming undisputed there, undisputed there. You're not even trying to do what Katie Taylor did. You ain't trying to do what Claressa did, what Amanda Serrano did, but somehow you keep putting yourself in that category like you're just going from weight class to weight class, just racking up wins. You barely fight. Ever since you got busted cheating, you came back, you had 3 fights, 3 meaningless fights, and basically none of the fights went the way the one chick, the fight got called off, whatever, due to that freak accident. And then the last 2 were women that you were supposed to smoke through. And basically, they didn't belong in the ring with you, and we saw that. And this is the level of competition. What do you think Jake Paul, the motherfucker who snuck in through the back door, he's going to advise you to go through the fire? No, he's going to advise all of them. It's about making as much money as you possibly can. This is real shit, I'm telling y'all. This ain't no bullshit. This is real shit. Make as much money as you possibly can. Stay away from the dangerous people. When it gets to the point where you talk about mandatories and you got something to lose by not fighting that person, okay, that's when things change. There will be some times we got to jump in the fire, but we want to avoid the fire as much as possible. Here's a motherfucker that never been through the fire. You think he teaching his fighters to go through that shit? Absolutely not. Hey, maybe one day, just like Floyd, just like Muhammad Ali, there's a lot of fighters that went through it. You know, same thing, Pernell Whitaker, where maybe Claressa Shields would be that fighter. People appreciate her more when she's no longer there. Same thing with Layla Ali. And what some of these situations have in common, well, all of them actually, you know, with the exception of Ali, his flowers came. You know, they got their flowers while they were fighting by people, but there was a lot of people trying to deny it, trying to put them down. You know, once you're gone and you're no longer in the active ranks, then all of a sudden, you know, people start to appreciate you more when somebody new comes along that they hate. See, Terrence Crawford comes along, and a lot of people like Terrence Crawford, so they'll try to compare him to Floyd and whoever and whatever. But at the end of the day, if they hated Terrence Crawford, they'd bring Floyd up. You wouldn't beat Floyd, you know, whatever, and all of that. Same thing. People hated Layla Ali. And I told you, Layla Ali's career came to an end to where there was no real closure. She was just gone all of a sudden. And then we come to find out that, yeah, she retired. And I remember the first interview we saw of her was like years later. Like, she just disappeared, man. She started doing cookbooks and all of that type of stuff. But they hated her, man. Especially after she beat Christy Martin's ass. Oh, man, Christina Amaguchi and all these other female fighters just talking about how basically all Layla did was live off her father's name. She didn't do anything. Oh, look how big she was to Christina, to Christy Martin and all of that. And I mean, same thing. You know, Pernell Whitaker, I remember people talking about, oh, he's supposed to be all that. He got his jaw broke by Trinidad. Oh, he lost to De La Hoya, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Oh, don't blame it on drugs. I remember these things, yo. I'm not sitting up here saying this to say I remember these things. And nobody was talking about Pernell Whitaker, but basically they couldn't find nobody to beat Floyd, so they started trying to find people in bigger weight classes, people from way back in the day and all this, and so they started bringing up Pernell. The same thing with Roy Jones, man. Anybody right now who don't remember, go pull up any video of Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson and look at the build-up. The build right before the fight happened, and look at how many people was like, yo, I'm just here to see how fast Mike gonna knock this nigga out. Yo, this nigga in here struggling with fucking journeyman. How the fuck you gonna beat motherfucking Mike, yo, Mike looking like the old Mike, yo, Mike this, Mike that, Mike look like the young Mike, Mike this, Mike that, you know what I mean? He gonna beat this nigga out, yo, Roy this, Roy, I mean, come on, man. I mean, even when Snoop Dogg, Sugar Ray, and them sitting there commentating, I remember it was like, one of them said something, I think he's trying to make Mike mad or something like that, frustrated, make him mad. And what did Snoop say? Does Roy really want to do that? Like, you know what I mean? Anybody with some sense know what they sat there and watched. But again, case in point, that's how a lot of people are. When they're no longer around, they're more appreciated. Or, you know, like I said, when somebody else come along that they hate more, that person that they hated so much back in the day, now they want to bring their name up as one of the people that nobody could beat, or he would have beat that person, this new person. Who cares, man? I agree with Mike Tyson 1,000%. People talk about legacy and talk all this, how you want to be remembered, and people this and that. Like, man, when you're gone, you're gone. Your ass is dead. How the fuck would you know what anybody's thinking about you, man? People gonna think what they want. I can't control that. All I care about is the people that I love and the people that love me to know that it was real. Guess what? At some point, they won't be here either. You, your family die, go on. Life goes on without you. One day, somebody will be like, who the fuck is Aries? Who's this Aries Zodiac dude? You know, yeah, I heard about somebody named such and such, and we're doing things on a smaller scale. You understand what I mean? So regardless, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Real shit. In closing, I sit here sometime and I watch videos from like the 1800s. They got them right here on YouTube. Just people walking around New York, France, you know, San Francisco. And I'm like, damn, nobody was wearing sneakers. Nobody was wearing tracksuits or nothing. They was all wearing them big ass hard shoes with the socks pulled up to the knees. You know, nobody was running. I mean, the streets, man, New York don't even like New York. You look at that now, you be like, damn, what part of New York they was in? And it's weird because it's in color, so it just looks funny. It looks more weird than being in black and white. Who the fuck is talking about any of these people? Who the fuck are any of these people in these videos? You understand what I'm saying? You're gone, man. You're gone. That's it. While you're here, what you do is to enjoy life. And the crazy thing, like I said, is when people talk about celebrities, they talk about athletes, they sit here and make all these videos about you, and your remaining family don't get one penny of that fucking money. So, same thing. One day I won't be here no more. Same way. Same way. How soon, how long, who knows? Could be tonight. Could be tomorrow. Who knows? You don't know when your last breath gonna be. I don't fear that shit. When it happens, it happens. At the end of the day, though, you do things to enjoy life. Everything that you accomplish, it should be for enjoyment, not to brag about or whatever, but people are people. It is what it is. I agree with Claressa. I'm in. Claressa versus Shadasia. You know, Baumgardner versus Caroline Dubois. Why not? That's all I got for you guys now. Catch you guys on the next video.